The computing problem that I'm going to be looking at is 737 divided by 6. In order to estimate this, I'm going to make more friendly numbers by increasing my divisor to 7 and thinking in terms of multiplication. So I know that 7 multiplied by 100 is equal to a product of 700, which is close. However, I know that my actual quotient for this problem is going to be a bit higher because my actual divisor is 6, not 7. So to think of this concretely, I'll be using blocks. I've got 700 blocks to represent 700. I've got 3 rods to equal 30, and 7 units to equal 737. So how I'm going to do this is I've got 6 circles here because my divisor is 6, so I need to break up 737 by 6. So I'm going to distribute these equally between each of the 6 groups. And I've got 6 of my 100 blocks and 1 left over, so I'm going to trade that out for 10 rods, which is equivalent to 100 because 10 multiplied by 10 is 100. And I'm going to take these 10 rods, including the 3 from before, and equally distribute those as well. Because I have so many, I can assume that I can get 2 in each group, so I'll do that. 2, 2, 2, 2. Again, I'm left over with 1, so I'm going to trade out my rod for 10 units, as that's equivalent. And using all of my units together, I'm going to distribute those equally. Again, I'm going to assume that I can do 2 at a time because there's so many. So at this point, I'm left with 5 units. I know that I can't break these down any further, and they won't equally distribute into my 6 groups. So I'm going to say that I'm going to have a remainder of 5 in my quotient. Looking at just one group, that'll be my quotient. So I've got 1 100 block, so I know it's going to be 100, 2 rods, so 20, and 2 units, 122, with my remainder of 5. I can think of this in terms of partial quotients as well. So if I go 737 divided by 6, and I'm going to look at my hundreds in one group first. I've only put in 1 100 in each group, so I'll put 100 off to the side. I know 6 multiplied by 100 is 600. I'll subtract that. I'm left with 137. Next, I'll look at my tens place. I've got 2 rods in each one, and 2 rods times 10 is 20. 6 times 20 is equal to 120. Now I'm left with 17. Lastly, I'll look at my ones place. I've got 2 units in each, so that will be equal to 2. 6 multiplied by 2 is 12 with my 5. So now I'm going to take the sum of these numbers, which is 122, with my remainder of 5. Lastly, I'm going to think of this in terms of multiplication. So I'm going to multiply my divisor in order to get a sum product of 737. So I know that 6 multiplied by 100 equals 600. And then I need to go up another 137, so I'll go 6 multiplied by 20, because I know that 6 multiplied by 2 is 12. And I add a 0 for a higher place value, will be equal to 120. And now I'm at 720. I know I've got to go a little bit higher, so I'll go 6 multiplied by 2 as the sum of 12. I know that I can't go any higher or closer with multiples of 6, so I'll add these together. So I've gotten the sum of 732. So I'll take 737, subtract 732, and I'm left with 5. So my remainder is going to be 5, and then I will add all of these together to give me 122 with a remainder of 5.